Hello everyone, welcome back to West Town HD, where he is talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's right, he's talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield with Chris, Claire, Newtype HD, and me, your Rabbit Sensei. How you doing, Blake?
I am doing great. He definitely said Newtype HD, but that's fine. Thank you to Rabbit though for doing that lovely intro, because your boy was stumbling over words. But I'm gonna take it from here. Big shout out to Rabbit. Subscribe to him and everyone else in the description down below. So as he was saying, we're gonna be giving our predictions on what we think we're gonna be seeing in the direct. Starting off with Chris, what do you see? Because this is going to be the direct. It's going to give us the legendary Pokemon without a doubt. What are you predicting our legendary Pokemon are going to look like?
I'm thinking, I was going to start off with a dumb joke, but I just stopped it right away. You know what? I don't know. I mean, like, this whole Sword and Shield thing has put me on a loop since there already are Sword and Shield Pokemon. Like,
I know, right?
Multiples. And so I feel like if they just went with the Sword and Shield thing again, like, exactly, it'd be kind of boring. So I feel like they'll want to switch it up and do something from English lore, but I don't know what exactly.
Okay, so I have a good answer.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a story we all know and love. I have a feeling that they're going to play off of the Hound of Baskerville.
Ooh, okay.
Story takes place in England, and I don't know, looking at the logos for Sword and Shield, I have a feeling that the legendary Pokemon, will be based off of, as Chris was saying, like English lore, but also you have to look at the family crest of the English family, just all of those clans back in the day, and I believe those same mythical beings will be coming back. But the reason why I say the Hound of Baskerville is because it is such a well-known story. And also, I don't think there's a giant dog Pokemon, legendary Pokemon.
There's like a Zygarde version that's like a big dog, but that barely counts.
But that's like a
mythical or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, like a big beast like that. I don't think we've ever seen in that term. Specifically.
See, I wanted to say Arcanine just now because the Pokedex classifies him a mythical Pokemon, but I mean,
I don't think that counts.
I'm thinking like three-headed dog type of dog.
Ooh, I like that.
Chimera, like a Cerberus.
Yeah, exactly. And then perhaps for the other one, a giant snake of some kind. I don't know
like
why.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, honestly, think of the mythical beings that you see in Harry Potter, and that's what I think we're gonna get.
Maybe Fire Emblem Three Houses is Harry Potter, and Pokemon Sword and Shield are Harry Potter. It's
okay.
all full circle.
Bro, Nintendo should just become Harry Potter. That's crazy. Yo, Harry Potter for Smash. That's the next DLC fighter. You guys cracked the code.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. What do you think,
I
Newtype?
like J.K. Rowling this Smash. Anyway, what I think the legendaries are actually going to be is like more like what Claire is saying. There's going to be like more of a family crest thing, but I think it's going to be more of a. I know there was like some kind of specific story that has to go with it, but I think it's going to be more of a lion, a unicorn, and some sort of phoenix.
Ooh, to tie in with Dark's Phoenix coming out soon. Okay, I see you.
Yeah, you see where I'm going with this? Okay. There was some sort of story. I don't know what it is, but there was something to that.
It's definitely going. All right, Rabbit. What about you?
It'll definitely be that.
Oh, what about me? I'm thinking it's going to be. I think there's going to be at least one wolf based off of Fifnir.
Ooh.
Just because he is a Norse wolf, and if we're getting an area based off the UK, it's probably gonna combine both, England as well as Scotland, Ireland, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Going back.
So I'm
Oh no! Continue.
Oh, I was going to say. So I'm betting there's going to be a wolf based off Fifnir, probably a dog, like Claire was saying, and yeah, I'm guessing there might also be a phoenix.
Ah, okay. But also, as you were saying, tying to Scotland, a thing people have been theorizing about is that we've only seen half of the region, and that we still have more to see in the post game. And then we're going to be seeing like Scotland as like an after, maybe like a post game or even like a halfway point in the game. Do you guys kind of buy into that? Think there's more to the region than what they're showing, or?
That would be nice.
I think it's gonna be like there's the mainland, and then there's gonna be like these offshore islands, kind of like Scotland's like kind of to the left of the UK.
So kind of like how Fire Red and Leaf Green had you go to the Sevi Islands kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that, and it's actually like kind of connected to the main game, and then later on there's going to be some post-game stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to expand the region, in an interesting way, is to have like sort of other islands or continents with it.
And I feel like since the logo is like some sort of like family crest, they might tie into that, and like how there was some sort of dispute a long time ago, and then they kind of like have sort of like this history with each other.
See, personally, what I would love is in second generation, throughout the entire game of Gold, Silver, and Crystal, they hint at the player that you're close to the Kanto region. You'd be they tell you about the Kanto region, this, and that. I would love it if they build it up the same way in Sword and Shield, and then at the post game or whenever they want to do it, then you go over and the region just expands that much more. I feel like they would definitely if something like that was going to be in the game, they would market it, but I would love it if they kept that a secret for players to find, just like, hey, all of a sudden you're at this other part of the region that no one else knew about until just now.
Yeah, I actually do agree with you on this, because I think if it does expand to another region, aside from places that are based off of Ireland and Scotland, I do think Kalos would probably be a good choice because of how close they probably are.
That is true, and they always talk about how there's that train in Corryway Town, I think is what it's called, I think the name of the place. And that train is it connects to a neighboring region, and Scotland, the UK, London, like it all interconnects there.
Similarly to how, like you guys were saying, Johto and Kanto are connected. As a kid playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver, nothing was more cool to me than how big that map was.
Oh, I know, right?
It was so awesome, especially when you were flying around trying to capture Entei and Suicune. Just the fact that there were almost two different worlds, even in actuality that the map wasn't that big, but to a kid it's really amazing. It just felt cool. So I would hope that they would do something similar to what you guys are saying, not only for players like us, but also so that the younger generation can have that same sort of experience. Whoa, there's really so much to explore here.
Oh, and I can definitely attest to the feeling of excitement I got when I found out you could travel between the regions. The only gripe I had was that you couldn't fly between them. If you wanted to fly to one of the regions, you had to fly to the Elite Four first, and you could fly to either one of the regions from there. And that got a little irksome. But if they brought back soaring from like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which I doubt they will, that could be a great way to get around the region. So realistically, what do you guys think this presentation is going to show off? This is what do you guys think is a guaranteed lot? Chris, start us off.
Well, it's like a 15-minute presentation, so they're gonna have to keep it to the essentials. I don't know. Would they even show like the starter evolutions yet? It's E3. This game comes out in fall.
Maybe the second one, but not the full. They want to keep the final evolution secret for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So that's the determining factor. Is it going to be cool the whole way through or not?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, all right, awesome there. Newtype, what do you think?
So if it's like a 15-minute presentation, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I think that the first thing they're gonna do is like show off the actual model of the Pokemon in game. So like 3 starters, Scorbunny, Grookey, and
to show them off in the wild encounter battle.
Yeah, like kind of like the first time you actually meet them.
Okay.
And then they'll also probably introduce another new Pokemon in that same instance, which will probably be one of the first route starter Pokemon you meet, kind of like a Pidgey or a Rattata.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
okay.
of those are good ones.
Okay.
And then I know a while back, well, not too long back, like a couple of weeks ago, they were holding a contest for a person to design an in-game like purchase item,
Oh, a
kind of like
t-shirt. That's right.
like a T-shirt, yeah. And they might be showing like in-game customization to let people know, like, yes, that is in-game.
Okay.
And probably maybe the first town, and that's about it.
Huh? You think they show off the first thing? Because do they normally show off the first towns in these presentations?
Probably.
Well, the first town is generally used as the tutorial area. So by showcasing it, it's not giving away many spoilers because it's what everyone will see first anyway.
Oh, and
So
like that region's professor.
Oh, the professors will. There has been theories though that this region was going to have 2 professors, because if you look on the map, there's 2, like in the first town, there's actually 2 research looking areas. And if you look back, I believe 6th generation and 7th generation both had multiple professors. I think 7th gen
had Sycamore.
And the
there was 7th gen had a Kukui and his wife.
Kukui, his wife, and then there was also Samuel Oak as well, if you want to count him.
Oh, right.
I mean, technically, I think Hard Gold Soul Silver gave us Professor Oak and Rowan, but then again, that was also 2 regions. But I think they could definitely do another professor as well. Inside the first town, but I am interested to see just basically what this game looks like in the actual end, because we've seen the trailers and whatnot, but I want to see like actual gameplay. Like I want to see what this game actually looks, feels, and breathes like. People have been saying that it actually might still be a full 3D camera instead of it being fixed. I think that's a little ambitious right now, but with the way the world is and with some of the cutscenes like panning around the trainer, those could all be in-game rendered cutscenes. But it would be amazing if that was a little surprise they had where you could use the right stick just to move around the camera. What do you think there, Rabbit?
I think free roaming camera, while it'd be nice in battles and such like that, I do think it'd be a bad idea for the overworld right now, unless they're going, full on behind the character walking around. Because right now, with the way Pokemon has been laid out, it's always been sort of top down with the fixed camera angles, so that Jesus Christ, I swear to God, I fed him, I gave him milk, he needs to simmer that. I will send you my Miles alert clip after this. It would make it to where a lot of people get turned around if the camera could be free roaming because of the way that the games have been done in the past. So it might not be a good idea to have a fully controllable camera.
Something I just thought of as well is that most times in a Pokemon game, the buildings will be facing a certain way, and they're not really meant to be looked at from behind. Like a Pokemon Center from behind, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a Pokemon Center because it doesn't say like this is like PC or anything like that. You wouldn't be able to tell. So there is that hindrance. But talking about Pokemon Centers right now, this is something that they changed in 7th Gen, but also brought back for the first generation remakes. Do you guys think they're going to leave Pokemon Centers and Pokemarts merged?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they've made that change. I don't think they're going back on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason they did it for like the remakes is just to
stay faithful.
That and like just to make sure there's like a huge empty spot where a Pokemart used to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna give my thoughts realistically on the presentation. So the way I think they're gonna lay it out, so they're gonna show us the starter Pokemon again. Of course, like I said before, we're getting 100%. They're going to show us the legendary Pokemon and the box art. They're gonna say pre-order today for the low fee of $59.99 USD or $79.99 Canadian. Wherever your local area is. I think in the presentation, they could probably just give us some more lore. They might show us like the Rattata or the Pidgey of this region, like just kind of start slowly introducing us, creeping us towards what the new generation of Pokemon is going to be like, kind of give us an idea. Ideally, I think HMs are, I think we all agree that HMs are basically gone now forever. Like they're not going to be.
At this point, yeah, they're pretty much gone. I wouldn't see a reason to go back to it at this point. Because
with Sun and Moon, they had Ride Pokemon, and then with not X and Y, what was it? The Let's Go games. They had the not the utility, but were they Ride Pokemon? Yeah, I think they're Ride Pokemon in Let's Go.
Yeah, there were Ride Pokemon in Let's Go.
Yeah, so I don't really think HMs are going to come back, which I mean I'm definitely okay with, because having to go to the Move Delivery to remove an HM or having to always have an HM save on your team definitely stifle the creative process a little bit.
Not to mention HMs just always suck.
Surf was always really good.
I mean, Surf, Waterfall,
Strength.
Well, I meant the fact that they took up a spot permanently.
That as well. And so HMs are basically gone. I think they could definitely show us a bit more about the first town, like you guys have been saying. Kind of like, here's your Pokemon. They might show us our mom as well. Do they normally do that in presentations?
I think they kind of like show her a bit, but I don't know. They don't really focus on her since why would you? She's only there for like a couple scenes.
It's probably going to be like B-roll in the presentation, and you might run into the mom during then. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Can we get a dad?
Can
No.
we get a dad?
No,
Yo,
get out.
Yo, can you imagine the day they flip us on our head and you have a dad instead of a mom? Think about that. Or, you know, a small detail that I would like is, like, for example, say you play a male trainer, you have a mom, and you play a female trainer, you have a dad kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, Pokemon has done so many years of just trainers in general, regardless of if you were in the anime or in the game, you just don't have a father.
I mean,
I mean,
Ash
third
had
gen.
Mr. Mime as a dad, so...
I love that canon so much.
Part of a free trip?
That's my personal headcanon. Before we move on there, Claire, did you have anything you wanted to say?
You know, pretty much the same thing that you guys were saying. They can't give too much away, but also we pretty much know what we're going to get, if not here at E3. I would say probably they'll also show a few of the gym leaders, just like little snapshots really fast so you can get the designs, because they want to get the cosplayers rolling. They want them to start thinking about those characters because that's free marketing.
She has a point.
Yeah, they want to get
All
people
those artists
get
are
their
ready to
waifu
go.
on
Yeah.
deck right away.
Exactly.
That is true.
And then we'll probably also be told if there's going to be Pokemon contests or not, and maybe really quickly what that soccer thing is.
Oh, yeah,
or
the soccer
football,
deal.
rather,
Probably.
what that
I bet-
means. I'm guessing
I-
it's another Pokemon Olympics kind of deal, but
Pokeathlon?
yeah.
Something, yeah. But I think that makes sense because they kind of hyped it up at the end of the first trailer, so it makes sense for them to pick that up for the direct.
Yeah.
Or hey, who knows? Maybe all the gyms will actually be based off of sports in the UK.
That would be cool. That would be different.
Bro,
Olympic gyms.
we about to play football with our Pokemon. They about to have FIFA 18 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Probably
wild.
be better too.
What's funny though is that Claire mentioned contests. I had completely forgotten about contests, specifically because we hadn't had them since like 4th gen, then they came back for the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire remakes and then never saw them again. Did you guys play contests often?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Good side content.
I always liked them a lot because when I watched the show as a kid, Dawn was my favorite character naturally, and I loved seeing her so much with Mamoswine and Veneeri and everyone. So then when I could go play Pearl, I wanted to kind of relive those same memories. So I was really into them in Pearl and Diamond. Not so much in these newer games because I think they never improved upon anything, and really the ultimate thing I wish they did but they're never gonna do is the choice of, do you want to be a Pokemon trainer or do you want to be in Pokemon contests? Because I would totally go that route, and I think it would be cool if they had 2 career options, but they'll never do that. It's just a fever dream.
All right, we have that on recording. Whenever it does happen, we'll look back at this footage, and Claire's gonna owe everyone some soda. But that is actually a fantastic idea. I've never actually thought about the premise of starting your journey as a Pokemon contester, but
Could we add a Pokemon breeder to that too? That's what Brock wants.
bro, make a Pokemon MMO and just decide your class.
Yeah.
Exactly. That'd be actually really fun, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my first thought, of course, is always, well, if they did that, people would say the contest is for girls and the Pokemon trainer is for boys.
Which is funny you
And-
say that, since in like the one of the Pokemon manga, the protagonist, the male one, actually was the more feminine one, and the female one was the more masculine one, who actually went for the gyms, and the other one went for the contest.
Nice.
So then maybe I'm wrong with that, and maybe Pokemon is
But
good.
but Newtype, the actual mangas as well had Arbok getting cut in half.
That was a different
Yeah.
total thing completely.
Can we get the mangas into a game, please?
It would be metal as hell.
It
I
would.
would like that.
And some of the stuff they let slide in Detective Pikachu. No spoilers here, of course. But some of the stuff they let slide in that movie raised some eyebrows for me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing we've all seen in the trailers, Pikachu going, "Get me the hell out of here!"
They let Pikachu say hell in 2019. You heard it here first, and I can confirm that's in the movie. They didn't cut that out. Pikachu said hell in 2019. I'm blown away.
Sorry for jumping into Detective Pikachu. Do you think, because, Sherlock Holmes is in England, maybe Detective Pikachu will make a cameo as a talking Pikachu
Oh
that's
my
in one of the cities. Maybe there's a side quest, but he could just be a character like that you see at the coffee shop at night.
Bro.
I mean, we have Looker.
Bro, imagine Looker
Yeah.
has a Detective Pikachu.
To be his Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Like, here's my new partner.
This is my partner Pokemon. Oh my god.
And, like, only he can hear him, and everyone thinks he's crazy.
Bro,
That
yo,
would be so
have,
cool.
And it would totally make sense for the character.
have Looker be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my, yo, Claire is cracking the code. Claire's dad works at Nintendo, guys. All right,
Real leak.
moving on to our
Yeah,
next
we can give
discussion.
away our secret info
Yeah.
for
Sorry.
sources.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. All right, moving on now. We have a kind of just little what if scenario. So, how would you personally do this presentation if you were in Nintendo shoes? I'll start off just so you guys can give a little time to think. I've been thinking about this all day. So, basically, what I mean with this is basically just if you were outlining this presentation, what would you show? What would you save for a later date, kind of thing? Personally, I think what grips a lot of people is always the box arts. So you have to have the box arts in there at some point. I'd say save the box arts till the very end. I don't think this direct is going to give us just like one little 3-minute trailer and call it. They wouldn't do a whole announcement of a direct for that. They just put up a trailer. So personally, I think they're going to show up. They're going to start it off. They're going to have, what's his name? I can't remember the dude with the squinty eyes.
Brock?
No, it's not Brock. I mean the guy at Game Freak. All the Japanese names are blending in my head right now. I don't want to sound racist. Either way.
Well, you heard it here first. Blake thinks all Japanese people look the same.
You know,
No.
Unsubscribe.
Cut it.
not
I'm just
Masuda.
liking this
Not
video.
Masuda. We'll probably see Masuda in this direct because Masuda in Pokemon is like
The bad boys were some cool jackets.
oh, Masuda's got such a dope jacket. Can we get that in the game? Can we get Masuda's jacket? Pre-order bonus. Get Masuda's jacket for your character. Get
$8,000.
Bro, it's wild. But just out there predictions for me for the presentation. So it's gonna start off with trainer customization. They're gonna show us like, hey, here's your characters. You can be black, you can be blonde, you can be redhead. You can customize your trainer completely. I'd like for them just to give you like a color, like a scroll wheel, like a kind of like a rainbow colorway, one of those things for character hair colors. So you can have like green hair, like blue hair, like just any kind of hair color or match your hair color in real life to a T. Make the character feel even more like you. After that, they're gonna have the characters walk out of the saloon, and they're gonna get jumped by their starter Pokemon now, and then they're gonna get into a battle. They're gonna show us some live battle gameplay. All right, okay, you still following me? Okay.
Yeah, but I have to ask you a question. When do we get to the Wild West? You said they walked out of a saloon.
Shh, Rabbit, shh. You weren't supposed to catch on to that. It's fine. So, out of the saloon they go. Tumbleweeds are blowing. All right. So you have your 3 shadow starter Pokemon, and then you start battling the Rattata of this generation. And at the end of the fight, your Pokemon evolves, and that's how they segue into the mid-stage evolutions. They're gonna save the final evolutions until probably September, like further in the year, definitely, because those are definitely stuff you reveal towards the end of the trailer lifespan. After that, they're gonna show us these Pokemon. They're gonna give us their names, their typings, a bit of their lore, like how Grookey likes to bang a stick, so he's a ground type. That's actually a theory that's going around. Don't ask.
No, I've heard that.
That's theory still so wild to me. And after that, they're going to show us the legendary Pokemon. I'm entirely with Claire on this. I think I would love a Cerberus and a Snake. I think that's really that suits it really well. From the logos alone, the Sword and Shield, they both have like dog-like fangs on their logos, like a dog head. So I feel like we may not get the Snake, just 2 dogs. I love a Snake and I love a dog. But either way, they're gonna show us
third legendary. Who knows?
or a third legendary. Ooh, yo, the third.
Well, there's almost like the 2, and then there's like the third kind of special one.
Unless you're black and white,
Like the
black 2,
Giratina.
white 2, and then you're just Kira
Yeah.
over here eating everyone. Like, come join me. Perfect, selling everyone up. I mean, hey, the third legendary could be like you have one dog as one, the other dog as the other, and the third legendary it just combines them. Have another combining legendary. Have a 3-headed Cerberus as like the third one overall. They might release like a Pokemon gun later down the line.
I can't wait for that.
But yeah, they
I
just
said this in the last discussion, but at some point we have to see the Loch Ness monster.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Good old Nessie.
Yeah, and then they should legendary Pokemon, and that'd be it. So, before we move on, though, before everyone else gives their predictions, Chris made a great segue because I had forgotten that I wanted to talk about other legendary Pokemon. But for example, 4th generation gave us so many legendary Pokemon. Do you guys think we're gonna get a lot of legendaries in this game, or do you think they're gonna pull X and Y, Sun and Moon, leave legendaries on the cartridge and not give them to us?
Well, for Sun and Moon, what they did was they didn't have like too many legendaries, and most of them were kind of like, oh, download today, you can get this one, and they were kind of replaced by Ultra Beasts, but I don't think we're gonna get.
Yeah, like the kind of Ultra Beasts were like what they focused on instead of legendaries.
So I think for this one we might get like a modest amount, and like most of these legendaries have kind of like a local history to them, kind of like the Sword of Justice from from
Keldeo?
5th gen.
Mm.
Yeah, like Keldeo and like Terrakion and whatnot. And then it's gonna be more like that.
Okay.
There needs to be a balance, because in my opinion, they had way too many legendary Pokemon around the time when Victini and Keldeo and Meloetta, all of them were coming out. It didn't make them special anymore, and I know that that's something that a lot of people say, so it's not a hot take. But something middle ground between that and Sun and Moon would be good. And of course, another thing that we all wish could happen is for the special events to be going on, like how you would get Celebi. That was so cool. And of course, they would probably argue, well, one, Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore. People want digital releases more, though I personally don't.
Same.
So it's harder to get kids and adults alike to go to a brick and mortar location in order to get a download code. But just putting more effort into the storylines for getting these legendary Pokemon, then that makes having less of them make more sense. Because each one is its own special story that you get and adventure that you get. So that would be my best of both worlds.
Rabbit, was there anything in there you wanted to add?
Well, pretty much the only thing I hope happens with this one is very much what we were just talking about with the legendaries. I think that it'd be nice if they just kept the legendaries for the region that we're going into only, and made it where the other ones that we have, we'd have to transfer them some way instead of just being able to get them for free through downloads and stuff like that, because that takes away the majesty of getting the legendary.
That is true. So Claire said like an in-between of like 5th and 7th generation. So personally, I think that would probably be like, because 3rd generation, they gave us the Reggie trio. They gave us the Weather trio, so that's 6. Latios and Latios, that's what? That's 10? No, wait, no, 6. That's 8.
Don't forget Deoxys, Jirachi.
Deoxys and Jirachi. So that's 10. So, did they add anything else?
I want to say yes.
One was Manaphy and Fanphy.
That was next.
It was one of those things where
that was weird. That was like you gotta get.
It was like a Generation 3.5 thing. It was like it was one of those things they had in the anime in 3rd generation, but it was a 4th generation Pokemon.
It was a 4th gen. You had to get it from like Pokemon Rangers and then get a code, transfer it over.
Gen Pokemon.
And then 4th gen just had a bunch ton.
Yeah.
There's these trio, then here's the trios to that trio.
There's a really good thread that a person on Twitter created just a few days ago that goes over all of the very complicated, some would say too complicated ways to get these legendary Pokemon. So I'll send it to you guys and then we can put it in the description. But that goes to show you, I guess it's never, the legendary Pokemon haven't always just been handed to you. Sometimes it was really difficult. But then again, it's about finding that balance where, I'm not going to go through all of that just to get that Pokemon. And I'm also not going to want to just go to a cave with no challenges and have it be there. Just kind of be like, oh, anybody could get this. So that's the key.
So are you implying that having a Relicanth and a Wailord was too obscure? Because that just kind of clicked in my mind personally when I saw. I was
and who doesn't know Braille?
Exactly. Who doesn't know Braille in 2019?
And who doesn't know Braille by sight, not by touch? You know?
I hate that so much.
So like I don't want to be that guy, but like are a bunch of like blind kids who know Braille gonna play this game? Like, oh, I know that.
Touching their Game Boy Advance screen.
I can feel it.
All right, moving forward, Newtype, if you were doing the presentation, how would you direct the presentation?
Okay, if I were directing it, the first thing I would do is already show things we're already seeing. You know, showed up the trailer they showed like us a couple months ago.
So make us wait. Okay.
And then like go into it, introduce the professor. He will, be presenting for a bit, and then show off the starter Pokemon, and then we go into a battle. And then they're gonna show off the first read a little bit, and then go into a little bit more description to that. Talk about customization a bit. Introduce the legendaries. Maybe show off the second evolutions, and then end it there.
Ah, all right. I'm looking forward to your presentation. Let's see.
Just like talk about it. Just like give like little tidbits, but then like elaborate on them.
Ah, all right. Rabbit, what do you think? What would your presentation be like?
My presentation, I would start off, of course, with some snippets of the trailer from the last reveal. To show, okay, we're getting started. Let's get everyone hyped up. Everyone, let's get ready to go. And then talk about some more of the region itself, as in what's actually going on in the region. Why this is going to be a fun area to explore. And then, talk about a couple of the new Pokemon that are going to be in there too. But save the evolutions until people can actually play the game. That way people can be surprised like they were with Gold and Silver, as well as whenever they had Emerald and all that stuff, back before the evolutions were just leaked all over the internet.
See, I really like that idea, but I feel like if Game Freak doesn't, then the games are going to leak a week early as they normally do, and the starters are going to get spoiled anyway. It's kind of really difficult to stay fresh on starters unless you're absolutely avoiding everything, staying off the internet, basically just living off the land for an entire 4 months.
Shout out to Bowser Carrigan.
I was about to say, shout out to my boy Bao, who's literally ghosting the internet after this next direct.
It's all about trying to connect fans across generations, and I don't know how that could be done, and I don't feel like it really has been done as of yet, because obviously Pokemon is such a large IP now and has touched so many different people. There's no one way to appeal to all of them, but it has to be something in a way that makes Pokemon cool while also at the same time endearing, because you have to let the kids playing the game know that they're not, I don't know, uncool for liking it.
Dweebs.
You have to keep it going with these future generations, and also give adults what they want, while also keeping it fun, because that's what Nintendo is all about at its very core. So personally, I would say the main thing is just making sure that they stick to the basics and have good music, a good trailer theme that people can get stuck in their heads, bright graphics, showing things that can lead to speculation, so that Game Explain can make a 2-hour-long video on it. We'll eat that up. I want to know what Andre thinks. And also keeping some sort of a mystery about it. So not just for Game Explain, but it's something that will lead to people wanting to, actively think about the game.
Speculation and whatnot.
Personally, I kind of forgot about in between Pokemon Let's Go, then they announced this game, and I kind of forgot about it up until a few days ago. So they really need to keep a lot of people interested. So if they can pull that off, and again, those are my ideas, but I'm not a marketing expert, so I don't know what they're going to do. They just have to keep it going. That's the main thing. Especially after Let's Go and how many people were let down.
Oh, she went there.
I like that segue.
I like that segue indeed. It's the truth. Chris, was there anything there you wanted to talk about for your predictions, or?
Not really. All you guys brought up good points. I don't know what else I would do.
All right, excellent. So moving on to our last subject for this discussion here. What are you guys' out there predictions? I'll start us off there. My out there prediction is that Z moves are canned. Mega evolutions will return. Okay, hear me out. Mega evolutions return. Z moves gone. Because Z moves were very plot related to Sun and Moon. Like, unless our main character just has the will of the seven suns in him, like our main character did from Sun and Moon, and he can just call on his power and whatnot. But I think Mega Evolution was more normalized, so to speak. You just needed a Mega Ring and the Mega Bracelet and whatnot, and then of course a bond with your Pokemon, quote unquote. I don't believe that because the anime kind of made evil people use Mega Evolution. It was a little interesting the way they did that, but I digress.
Wait, are you saying that Pokemon can't be evil?
Rabbit, that's a discussion for another video. we'll get back to that. Put a pin in that one. So,
all right.
I think Mega Evolution is gonna come back. I'm really hoping they'll give us new Mega Evolutions. I'd love to see Mega Evolutions for Pokemon, for like more like 7th generation mon, just newer mons in general. I'd also love region variants to show up, like for 2nd generation, and just keep the trend of regional variants going to breathe life into newer ones, but I don't think we'll be getting any new ones. Just my big out there prediction, Mega Evolution's gonna return there. What do you think, Newtype?
Well, I don't think it's gonna return. I think you're gonna buy Z-moves from a guy from a kiosk at a mall.
Yeah.
And then he shows you how to do the moves.
I hate everything.
Actually, I had an idea for the Pokemon that might be kind of interesting. So, there was a very eventful thing that happened in Europe one day, 1400s-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, killed a lot of people. The bubonic plague, you know.
Oh no.
What?
Okay, stay with me on this, okay? So, you know, a lot of people die. It was very poisonous, right? So the first encounter Pokemon you meet will be a poison type rat.
Oh, that's.
and then like the lore behind is like a lot of people don't like this Pokemon since it was said to once brought a disease from another country.
Oh, but see, that's just subtle and PG enough to flow under ESRB's radar.
But yeah, I also think that Z-moves they'll be back like post game. You can get it like the Super Mall. They've been implementing these past couple gens. I don't think Mega Evolution is going to return. They're going to do something new and crazy for this one. I do wish that Mega Evolution would make a comeback, but I just don't see it happening. I wish I want to be wrong, but you know.
So you think they're going to? So what you think? So they're not. So like new Mega Evolutions. Like, do you mean like no new Mega Evolutions, or you're
like
not
no new Mega Evolutions,
or you're
like,
not
just
going to
keep
get
the ones they have right now?
Okay, but they are going to bring back the current ones to this generation with the Mega Stone.
Yes, they're going to bring everything back.
Okay, so
everything just gets recycled.
But the thing is though,
forward.
with the Z moves though, unless you, because I think this is a different engine than the Sun and Moon engine. I could be wrong. It's definitely not the Let's Go engine. Let's Go is differently its own engine, but the Z move like animations were really detailed, and bringing that over to HD could be a little like not costly, but it could be a little tricky with how some of the moves looked and behaved. I could be entirely wrong. Game Freak could already have these things ported to the game, imported without any issues. But
I mean, I'm sure they already thought of it.
What do you think there, Rabbit?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Well, I thought Mega Evolutions were cool and stuff like that. The Z-move stuff I also thought was nice. But in the end, I thought it was just sort of a neat little gimmick and not necessary. So I don't know if they're going to bring it back or not because, well, to be fair, whenever I played Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I only played for a couple hours because, you know, after, you know, the being of the tutorial for about 4 or 5 hours, I got bored of it. And I hope they don't do that again. Please let the tutorial be short this time around.
Oh, please.
But in the end, I do think there's going to be something special in there. I don't know if it's going to be Mega Evolutions or Z-moves, but there is going to be something special to make this one stand out since it's the first one on console.
So, Pokemon Fusions, anyone?
No, I hope not.
And it's already close enough to Digimon as it is, so.
Pokemon Burst Evolutions?
Burst, no, please stop.
Alright, so are you saying that if we fuse the two legendaries, we get Omegamon?
Okay, that's actually just copywritten though. So
No, because if they do fusion, it's gonna be all the boring ones that we're already seeing from first gen. We're gonna have like Weeping Bell, like wheezing. It's gonna be just this weird abomination.
All right, moving on now. Claire, Chris, anything you guys wanted to give your out there predictions?
Just something that came to mind when you said the word Omega. I know that obviously there was Alpha and Omega in the titles of games, but if it's 2 dog Pokemon for the legendaries, there could be Alpha and Omega themed Pokemon.
Even better, Alpha and Beta, the Chad and the Cuck Pokemon game.
That could be good. Something that I didn't think about, but you know, I was gonna say for my out there predictions, this is a plot-based thing. Stonehenge. They're gonna have some sort of reference to Stonehenge in the game, and definitely you'll get a legendary Pokemon there. I like it when Pokemon talks about aliens. And a large theory about Stonehenge is that, like, oh, the aliens helped the people create Stonehenge. So I think it would be really cool if this game is a coming together of the deep-rooted lore of, you know, all of these different countries that it's based on in terms of the mythical beast, but also aliens.
Aliens.
I would just love a special event where Deoxys meets another alien and he just looks at him and says, "My people."
You know, speaking of Stonehenge, if it is like that, then I hope like when you go to this spot, you can change DX's form
stones there?
to whatever like stone you go to.
Each stone represents a different form.
Yes.
Maybe not. But that's also a nice metaphor for the blending of the old and new in Pokemon. You know, having, again, mythical lore with, I'm just gonna keep saying it, aliens with aliens.
Aliens.
You're like the crazy guy from that Ancient Alien show. He has that awful tan and crazy hair.
You actually just gave me an idea too. Okay, you know, you were talking about aliens. You talked about each of the Stonehenge stones being based off other stones in the game. What if we get our first legendary variant of Eevee?
Oh, alien Eevee,
Mm.
Alien.
I mean, it's the only one that can evolve into any form.
But
And he's a ghost type. He's a cryptid.
Oh, he could be a ghost type.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like that.
Although, off topic, but I like how there's other like meme about how would you make a ghost Eevee, and someone's like, oh, Firestone for Flareon, Waterstone for Vaporeon, a brick for Eevee.
Yeah, that's a good thing with the Direct would be showing off a new Eevee. Being Ghost or Dragon or Steel. Steel probably makes the most sense.
I think
but-
Steel and Dragon will be like the two.
Well, I mean, it is a steampunk city, so I think steel makes the most sense for this society.
Mhm.
Yeah, and hey, have a ghost type one that's based off Jack the Ripper.
Yeah!
Oh,
That's good.
wow.
Ooh, that'd be creepy.
Let him have a scythe. It looks like Mimikyu. It appears to be a regular Eevee, and that's how it lures in people, make it think it's its friend that takes its scythe and just steals their soul. Are we getting too not PG enough for Pokemon? Because I mean, like,
We're fine.
Well,
Wait,
anyway,
it's Pokemon. Do you remember the dark stuff that's been in it?
Speaking of semi-dark stuff, how about like the team, like the evil team of this region?
oh, that's a good point.
Personally, I think it's going to be like an old, like forgotten family who's trying to make their comeback,
Getting revenge on the queen.
getting revenge on the queen, the Inquisition.
Okay, now hear me out. Hear me out. We've already had Team Flare, so maybe this is Team Drab.
Oh.
And they're all goth. Oh, that would be good. That would feed the people.
Oh my god,
Goth
God.
girls?
A bunch of gothic team, that'd be awesome.
Oh. I had a massive theory a while ago where they would kind of do something like they did with 7th generation, where you'd have one team that's led to believe to be the bad guy, and you would support another team, and the head of the team you're supporting is the Pope. But like everything, the church is always evil. So the Pope is actually the main bad guy trying to capture the legendary Pokemon in that specific game. And you gotta put the Pope down.
And then the Pope sums down
Put him
Arceus.
down! Pope Francis, put him down!
He's like, I knew this day would come.
think the idea of a religious team would make sense for England, but I also don't think Pokemon would.
I think that would definitely in today's society
in
that would
like 5th gen,
offend.
we had like this PETA group, I would say.
Oh, you're
They
Yeah.
should let go of all your Pokemon.
I think that makes sense. Religion is just a tougher topic.
I'd say so,
Yeah.
specifically because people get offended by like the littlest things nowadays. I feel like didn't
Yeah.
Europe try to ban Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Europe did be the first province to or the first country to ban Pokemon.
So
So, was there anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we got up out of here for today?
my last minute out there predictions is Pokemon Let's Go transferability and or Pokemon Go transferability.
Huh, so you think you'll be able to transfer Pokemon from Go directly to Sword and Shield without the use of Let's Go?
It's got to be one of the two. Like they said that there's not going to be that, but I don't believe them.
See,
So I think there has to be some sort of communication.
I had a
between the game.
simple workaround for this in my mind where they just added a Pokebank app, like a Pokebank smartphone app, like to the,
I mean, they
to
could
the
just
Nintendo Switch
update
Online
the,
thing.
They can just
know.
complete the regular one at 3DS and just port it over to Switch so that they're both connected.
That'd be
That's it.
convenient.
Because I mean, because Pokemon Bank is of course going to be on Switch at some point or another. So I was
Yeah.
thinking that Nintendo's pushing their online app right now. Give us a Pokebank app so that way you can micromanage your Pokemon in their boxes through your smartphone. You can make like competitive teams on your phone and whatnot, and then just upload them right to your game. As well as you can transfer if you have Pokemon Go, you can transfer from to Pokemon Bank right through the game there, or something to that effect. I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. But
And if I can't bring Pokemon Bank to the Switch, why am I paying you every year, Nintendo?
what's funny is I'm pretty sure I think my Pokemon Bank is set to auto renew, so I've been paying for the last 3 years and I haven't used it.
Yeah,
Same.
it's like $5, so it's not. Really
I'm
bad.
not complaining. I mean, 15 bucks
Yeah,
stacks
it's
up. It's like a
just-
Big Mac combo I just missed out on. But I mean,
Big
Yeah,
Mac
I mean,
combo.
honestly, I think if they do put the Pokemon Bank on the Switch, I think they're just going to bundle it with the Nintendo Online.
that's another thing they could do because they've been bundling a lot of things with Nintendo Switch Online, specifically like Mario Maker and whatnot, like games that like heavily rely on it. But I'd say a lot of Switch owners, at least that I personally have been selling to, as someone who works in retail, a lot of Switch owners don't own 3DSs, and this is their first console in a long time getting back into gaming. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here though. But before we do that, we're gonna do our outro. So Claire, where can they find you at?
I'm at Glossed Garden on everything except for Depop, where I sell my old weeb because they won't let you change your name. But I do a lot of cosplay stuff, as well as general lifestyle. I'm trying to blend my love for anime and video games with also everyday stuff. So, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. A link to her channels, her Twitters, her YouTube, and her Tumblr will be in the description down below. Chris,
Which hasn't been on in 4 years.
where can they find you at, Chris?
Tumblr, it's 2019.
Some people.
Some people, I guess.
A certain breed.
You can find me at Twitter and YouTube at Count Christu for the hottest memes. And that's basically it.
All right. If you like memes, follow him on Twitter and YouTube and maybe Facebook. Facebook?
Facebook, yeah, I got a Facebook page. Follow
All
me
right.
at
All right. He's got a
Depop.
Facebook page. There you go. All right, Newtype, what about you?
They can find me at revolving-bunker on Twitter and Tumblr for the hottest and latest memes.
All right. So we got a meme war going on right now. Which meme YouTuber / Twitter user will you subscribe to first? Comment in the comment section down below. And last but not least, Rabbit, where can they find you at?
They can find me on youtube.com at Rabbit Sensei Gaming or on the Twitters at R_Sensei Gaming.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Of course, if you guys liked the video, go ahead and leave a like on it for your boy. If we get 10 likes, Newtype's going to buy everybody lollipops. You heard it
Probably.
here.
Allegedly.
You heard it here first. And leave a comment down below letting us know how hyped you guys are. We'll be doing a reaction to it and putting it up. And I mean, hey, if everyone is game for it, we'll be doing our impressions and seeing how spot on we were after the direct. So yeah, this has been your boy Westtown HD, Count Christo, Gloss Garden, Newtype SF, Rabbit Sensei Gaming. We will see you guys in the next video. Deuces!
Bye.
Bye.